Hello, everybody. How are you doing today? I'm so excited that you are here. I'm Amy with Altenew, and I would love to know where everybody is coming from today. And I also want to know because we have the amazing Jaycee Gaspar, and he is here to talk about his new class coming up, which is titled Build Your Own Garden. I love that because it's wintertime. Like we need this right now because it's cold and miserable right now, at least in the Northern Hemisphere. And Build Your Own Garden, Elements of Floral Composition 2. So I would love to know, are you already signed up? Because that early bird pass, that started on December 2nd, which was Tuesday of this week. So I'm so excited to have you here. I'd love to know where you're coming in from. And I see that we have Mitzi behind the badge. So hello, Mitzi. So excited. And I see Tracy is here and Melania is here. Hello. And Leanne, I got to realize I just put my glasses back on. Leonie, oh my gosh, I'm so excited you guys are here. And Carol is here. Wow. I'd love to know, have you already purchased this? Are you excited for this class? Are you looking forward to it? And Jaycee, I'm so excited that you are here today. How are you doing? How are you feeling?
I'm great. It's good to be back with Altenew Academy yet again and to have this highly requested sequel for Elements of Floral Composition.
I got to say, and I would love to know if you're in the chat and you're watching us, please share this live while we're live because you will then be entered to win a $15 gift card. Ooh. And I will be putting in very soon a link to Jaycee's store on the Altenew website, which also hosts, you just said, this is actually a follow-up of number 2 of Elements of Floral Composition. So I'd love to know in that first class, what did like the first one that what did you focus on there? And then how is this one kind of a follow-up? Like what else can you do with this?
Yeah. So Elements of Floral Composition, the first one, I really dove into the 7 elements of art. So line, color, space, value, shape, form, and texture. And we really Amy and I were scientists, so we really dissected the really intricate details about how that looks like in card making, right? But then it was all very fragmented. I really felt like I couldn't nicely finish off Elements of Floral Composition. So it remained there for many years. I filmed that Altenew Academy course back in 2020. 5 years later, Altenew's products have vastly changed. There are so many different things to enjoy at the Altenew store now. And so, it was kind of right for the class to sort of evolve with it. So then I got my highly, requested and my wish sort of to build on these concepts. So then Elements of Floral Composition 2, Build Your Own Garden, is almost putting it together. You don't want to admire just the roses, just the cosmos, just the grasses, right? It's the garden as a whole. And how do you experience that? And it's I think a lot in this class, and I share all of my thoughts with you. So there's just going to be a lot of thinking on a lot of sort of how to create your own creative formula with Altenew's new products using those 7 elements of art. So I'm really excited for it. It's really detailed, but I hope it gets you really thinking.
I'm so excited because it's something that I know I do because I am very analytical. I have to put the gemstone here and I got to put the other thing here and that's how it has to work. And so, and we're both like, you're a scientist too. You came from a science background. You have degrees in science. Where did you get the art? Like, where is the art coming in for you?
I was always kind of really creative even as a kid. So my career path and what I do like outside of my professional work sort of happen simultaneously. I've always been sort of a DIYer. I started off in watercolor, dabbled in scrapbook a little bit. Then card making happened at the same time I finished my medical laboratory science program. So I don't know, I got to really experiment with both at the same time. And but then with the thinking part, I don't know, they just sort of make sense to me. And I hope that if you take this course, like as I describe what I'm doing, especially, in Elements of Floral Composition, the first one, and in this follow-up course, that you sort of get what I'm feeling,
Oh, absolutely. And it's nice. I'm like you. I have to break things down. And I'd love to know who else out there is like, are you in the science field And art is like a little bit of an escape, right? Because it kind of frees you because we have to think within these specific boundaries and do these kinds of things and kind of follow along. But science is also really super creative. And people don't always get that as well because you have to think outside the box. You got to look at patterns and you have to think about how those patterns are different. And then you collect data and then see what the application means. So now you're a lot like you're drawn to flowers, and you said that you're in medical technology, or that's what you've done, which is like human body stuff and testing. So where does the flowers thing come in? Did you also study botany as well, or is that just like kind of the art thing?
I don't know, and I have tried to explain that to myself even. Like, I have my home garden, and I could easily just do whatever, have the very basic plants. But for some reason, I am so drawn to really fragrant flowers. So I have 21, I think 21 varieties of roses in my garden. And I pick them based on fragrance. So I have a lot of David Austin roses. I have a few peonies that
Yeah.
just smell like, and the iris is in spring. I don't know why. I just to walk around at different times of the year and just like take that moment to um, be outside and look at all the colors. Like I don't know, it's what gives me peace a little bit, and then I can go back to the busy life that I'm sure we both live.
Oh my gosh, yes. And it's one of those things too, when I think about like, I'm curious because I have like three sections of my garden. I also love gardening, of course, flowers, because that's why I feel like I'm really drawn to Altenew because their flowers are so realistic. My first one that I got introduced to was a layering rose, and I was like, I'm sold, like I'm done. And then the peony, I was like, done, it's it. And I actually have like a pink garden, and then I have a blue purple garden, and then I have an orange like red garden. Is that how you kind of have it separated out, or like you just like kind of mix it in? Are you using these same elements of design when you designed your garden where you put your flowers?
Yes to both, because right, I do what you do, right? I learned a little bit from other YouTubers as well, garden answers when I actually watch,
Yeah.
and it's that structuring of red, blue, and yellow, and you repeat these little elements right throughout your garden so that because I have an informal garden, it's very cottage like, and so that you admire little blocks of, oh, here's the rose, and then it moves into a different thing, and then it flows into something else. So yeah, I do think of that, especially in the landscaping area. Of course, I can only do so many plants in Colorado because we have no water here, and
Yeah.
it's that high altitude, whatever. So, but yeah, I do think of these things as I buy. But then, sometimes you just want to go off and have whatever. I love this pretty flower, so it's just going to go right here. Doesn't make any sense, and really nothing's wrong with that because it's for you.
Yeah.
So
Absolutely. And that's what it is. And I have, I don't know if you've been noticing the chat, but there's been people who also are scientists out there. Someone had said that they're a data scientist. Yes, you count. We will accept you and take you in. Absolutely. You are part of us. And also I saw someone had said that they had peonies. It was Michael Rutledge and said, I understand bought peonies, which are beautiful, but disappointed that to find they had no scent. But the roses, and you mentioned David Austin roses. Do you have like a favorite color? Do you have like, because he also has those hybrids that have like these amazing kind of, where it's like orange and pink all in one flower. Do you have like a favorite there?
Scepter Dial is the one I'm drawn to in mine. It's that blush pink, a little bit of a white center, and it's just for me, it's fragrance, and I mean, you can never describe them. So that one's probably my favorite David Austin. But my favorite rose that I have in my garden, I have a standard one of it, so it's the tree form, is the Pope John Paul II, and it's just that like bright
Oh, that one's
citrusy,
gorgeous. Yes.
yeah, and white goes with a lot of things in the garden, um, and it smells so good. I don't know, I'm getting like chills thinking about it, like what it used to smell like before winter. So
I know, but it's like I know ski season's coming up. It's great, but still, it's like, ooh, can't wait for my flowers. And I know I've seen you teach before, and a lot of time you do go out and you bring in like real examples, especially when you're blending color. And so, do you draw a lot of inspiration from your garden itself when it is in bloom?
of course, and for this class in particular, I felt like I had to. So my garden might make an appearance every once in a while, but yeah, I do talk about it, and I talk about other inspiration of sources of inspiration as well, because I know not everybody's a gardener, but there are other ways of thinking, especially when it comes to floral composition.
Yeah, absolutely. And Tracy, yes, he did say the John Paul II. Look it up; it's gorgeous. The David Austin roses, and somebody was talking about how they've had their first one, and their first one had no scent. Which I'm like, yeah, you have to kind of like pick and choose for them. So really, so amazing. And this
Mhm.
class, like I said, the first class, I put a link already in there. I'll add another link in. This you had said before is an addition to, because that first time that you had that elements of floral composition, there was more that you wanted to do. And you have a lot of classes on the Altenew Academy website that I also would be putting a link into that you guys should definitely check out. And is there like a favorite class or that you have done for us? Or you're like, this is the one, this is me, this is great.
I will definitely say, like, elements of floral composition, the first one was definitely me. It was my biggest and first opportunity with Altenew for the Altenew Academy. I had smaller, like, 101 classes that came out, but really the first one, elements of floral composition, was like, I put a lot of thought and effort into it because it was 7 or 8 videos. I can't remember now.
Mhm.
But this one, like the supplement to it, really takes a deeper dive into what I'm thinking. And not everybody creates the same as me. I think that's what's so beautiful about the crafting world, right, and environment.
Oh, yeah.
So I hope that what you take up from this class, like, really translates into your own work, because yeah, you'll see these things naturally, and then you'll start observing them in the real world, like, oh, this is texture. Oh, this is why people perceive this as beautiful or nice looking, because of all of these artful elements. So yeah, it's a completely different way of thinking. But I mean, I love all my classes: botanical illustration inspired watercolor, transcending tattoo techniques was one that I've been really thinking about. So I'm glad I got to do that one with Altenew as well, because it explores floral themes, right, still, but it's just a little bit, just like a different way of thinking, again, of creativity. And then what's the other one I had? Oh, beautiful details too
Oh,
was
yes.
another one I have.
Yes. Oh, gorgeous. And I want to let you guys know, I happen to maybe be stalking JC on the Altenew website a little bit today. And so when I went in, and you can actually go into the search bar, and you can do this for any of our designers. You can go into the search bar and you can put their name in. So if you're like, oh, I remember JC did this card, you can put him in, and you can actually see all the classes he's been in, all the classes he's taught, and a little list. And I even noticed today that at the bottom, there's like a little comment box that says, if you would love to see me teach a class and you have an idea, go ahead and put it in. So we'd love to see that now. So if you're like, oh my gosh, JC, this is what I love about you, this is what I love to do, let us know right now. And actually, they are always available. The class is on Altenew Academy. I love Altenew Academy because it has the same login now as the website. And once you buy the class, you have the class. It's done. And I love how it's organized, because I know I've taken some classes from some other places and it's hard to find all the materials. But on Altenew Academy, I just log in, I see the class. We have, I mean, what you prepared so much for this. So what is in, like, when we actually buy this class and we buy the kit and everything, what's in there, JC?
So in the regular class
Oh,
kit, oh yeah, is the, what do I have here? So the regular class kit has Craft a Flower Gladiolus, and then there is White Cat Peony stencil art, and then there's an unreleased item which is not exclusive yet, or it's not exclusive to the kit, but it is, you'll see it in the pictures, but it is an unreleased item. So
are we going to be getting a sneak peek today?
maybe, well, not with today's card, not unfortunately, but I will be using it in the live sessions. I'll be, of course, be using it during the class, because I've curated the class to the kit, but also these concepts vastly transcend what is happening outside of your product. So
Yeah. And
yeah.
I love that too, because your classes are like that. Because again, you, like me, we focus on techniques because we're all about kind of those patterns. And then you have another class coming up with the stamp wheel. Is that right?
That's right. Oh yeah, that's right. With Tasneem and Miriam. So I did help design one of the products in that stamp set. So yeah, it's another exciting opportunity. So if you've got the Stamp Wheel 2.0 or are thinking about it, this class is perfect. We've designed these products to work with that kit. So very busy.
I know, and I'm looking at it right now. This looks like an amazing class as well with that stamp wheel, and that is going to be in January. Oh
That's
wow,
right.
you are busy. You got a lot going on. Jeepers. Well, I'm so excited to see this kit and see these materials. Thank you guys so much for joining us today. If you could share this live while we're live, you'll be entered to win a $15 gift card. And if you wanted to sign up and get Jaycee's first class, it's actually it's a pretty good price, which is at $59.99. So you could actually apply. Oh, I lied. It's at if you get the kit, if you can still get the kit, which is nice. And you can also that's $112. But if you just want the pass, it's $59.99, which is nice. And you can put that $15 gift card. So let us know that you shared this live while we're live. And Mitzi is behind the badge today. And she just said that she loves your shirt with your little flower on it. It's so adorable.
Thank you. I felt like it was fitting to have the flower because it's elements of floral composition. So
absolutely. So I'm so excited to see what it is that you are going to be making. And in the chat, please let us know, have you already signed up for this? We do have an early bird discount code that is going on until Tuesday, December 9th. So that's until Tuesday, December 9th. And you get $20 off both the class pass. So that means you get all the videos, you get Jaycee, and there's a live session. And you get the kit. So all the materials that are in that kit. And that is for $109.99, which is actually really good. Because if you just get the class pass, it's... Oops. I know. We're going to be fine. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and let's get you down there. And let's take a look at what you have for us today. I'm going to do some little bit of magic, so I apologize because I'm going to be taking a look at this. So I apologize if my screen goes a little wonky, but we are going to work on... Oh, that worked, Jaycee.
Look at there. Okay. So
I'm going to hang out here in the corner.
Yeah. Do they still need the code for the $20 off?
Yes, they do. That code is Floral2. Oh my gosh. How did that magically happen, Jaycee?
I just had it prepared, something to really help out here.
That's awesome.
Yes, it's this code Floral2 to get $20 off the regular. I said this last night too. The class pass and the regular kit. So this right here if you need it. But yeah, I guess we'll switch the camera down. If you all would like to see the kit and the other product, can I reveal that third product that's not out yet?
I gotta say, I was thinking about this. I'm going to use this. I don't know if you've ever heard this phrase before, but I think we need to just ask for forgiveness later.
Okay. Yeah, that's fair. Well, I'll show it just because, there's the picture online, but we'll just give it a quick view.
They're going to find it.
Let me just make sure nothing's being blocked in front of me, right? Because I have
Nothing
a different
is being blocked in front of you. You look great.
Great. Thank you. Okay. So let's first talk about the kit itself. So let me just make sure I'm not grabbing other things I'm not supposed to. So like I mentioned, there's a gladiolus craft of flowers. So I'll be using this layering die set. That's one of the items in there. I've got them scattered around my room. I'm so sorry. Stencil art white cap peonies, which is this one. Love this floral set. And it's a full card front. So we'll definitely get some work out of this one. And then the thing that we've been trying to discreetly mention is this one. So I'll just briefly show it. Lenten Grace outline stamp set. So yeah, I'm excited for how we use all three of these. Of course, there are other products that I feature during class because, Altenew doesn't just have these three flowers, they have got a bunch. So I want you to be able to use whatever's in your stash if you decide not to get the kit. So anyway, I did prepare a card today to sort of branch off and give you a brief introduction of what this class looks like. So we can do that as well. And I also have some other products to show that relate to the class. So, okay. I guess I'll do a brief intro before I get into the class. So what I was thinking, with this class is I was trying to curate it to elements of art and other classical movements of art. So we traveled a little bit around the world, and I did explore things like themes like Art Nouveau. And so that's what I wanted to do this evening with you all, or wherever you are. For me, it's evening. And see how we can transcend Art Nouveau concepts, the natural organic shapes, the flow of florals and also the color palettes into floral art and using Altenew products because there's inspiration all around. So I just want to make sure that you all can see how to use those items from your Pinterest board, from your Instagram, your Altenew Instagram to use those elements as you are inspired. So first thing I'm going to grab is my stamp wheel. I've got the original size stamp wheel this time just because it takes up less space on my craft mat. But these items that I have on my stamp wheel flip plates are from the Regal Flourishes block stamp set. And this is actually part of the retreat kit for the Stamp Wheel 2 class, Stamp Wheel 2.0 class, the one that I'm teaching with Tesneem and Miriam. So again, pulling from those Art Nouveau concepts, I'm thinking of like that classic Muka with the whiplash sort of motifs, right? And if you recognize Art Nouveau, you'll know what I'm talking about. That sort of movement that happens in these sets. So that's why I focused on Regal Flourishes block. I thought it was perfect for that. And I want to incorporate these organic looking shapes and elements, again, thinking about artful elements and the elements of art into this card design. I've picked a very natural color palette. So this is, where's my sticky note? Is that right? Oh yeah, Reindeer Moss, Crafty Necessities cardstock. And onto this panel that I've centered onto my stamp wheel, I'll stamp these two images. I've got the Slim Grit mat right here on the center, and we'll just start stamping. So this is my base layer up here. I've kind of cleaned it, so I will use my stamp conditioning eraser. Sorry, this is the Stamp Perfect, just to rough this up again.
Jaycee, I think that little stamp conditioner or Stamp Perfect, that is like a little bit of magic in a box. I have to say, until like I actually used it, I didn't realize how amazing it was.
Yeah, and you know, I think it comes in a set of 3. I don't know when I'll use the other 2. So you could always split it with a friend. Let's see. And then the card or the color, I wrote these all down. And then where did that color go in my little wheel? Oh, here it is. Mossy Granite. This is a newer color from this year. So I love the earth tones, so I thought it was perfect for the theme of this card.
Well, it's nice too. Like you said, you take inspiration from what's around you, and you're up, you know, where you are in Denver. It's like that color palette is amazing. And I'm from the East Coast, so it was so different. I just visited there, and it was just so different from where I had ever been. So, and I will say the air, it took me. It was thin. I was
Oh, I believe that. And I don't know how close you are to sea level, but it's, you know, even for me, the opposite. Like when I go to sea level, I'm like, wow, I feel like I have so much stamina. I can go anywhere. Like, we're gonna walk everywhere now, and like we're not driving anywhere.
No, you might as well just run. You can ride your bike. Like, run a marathon. You're like, it's great. Oh my gosh. I love these 2 colors together. And this is such a beautiful stamp. And what a great, I have to say, I feel like we're seeing a little bit of a preview of that Stamp Wheel 2.0 class, aren't we? Like, because you are a master with this.
Well, thank you. But yes, it is a little bit, you know, this stamp is supposed to fit in the bigger stamp wheel, and the way that they've curated the kit for that class is absolutely phenomenal. But for this one, I just wanted to use that whiplash motif to get these interesting and organic shapes to set up for the background. Again, inspired by Art Nouveau and those sort of motifs. If you're not familiar, maybe it might help to look up real quick what Art Nouveau looks like, because I'm hoping that it translates into exactly what you're going to see at the end result of this card. So that was the solid layer. On the other side, I have the detailed layer, so I can just quickly stamp that real quick and get that aligned. And it looks like, yep, it's still aligned in there. And on top of that, that was Mossy Granite as my base. I'll use Obsidian Pigment ink, just a really nice standard black. really strong, and it stamps beautifully. So I'll repeat that on top and the bottom.
That's so nice. Tracy just said that she bought the stamp wheel class just for this stamp.
Oh, perfect. Yeah, and I hope when you see what we've done in that class, like the amazing things that can happen. It's so cool. Perfect. And then we'll just give that a rotate.
And then in terms of the design, because this is Elements of Floral Composition 2 that we are talking about today, this feels like it's a little bit of the repeat design, right?
That's right. So we are just trying to really get an interesting and symmetrical background for this. And that's really the element that I was trying to pull, was like the juxtaposition of symmetrical and asymmetrical elements. And we'll pull in those asymmetrical elements in a moment. But yeah, these are all thoughtful elements that went into this design, so that, it's just, like I mentioned, it's just a way of thinking and being inspired. And just making your cards more complex. Because I think during the trailer I mentioned that, composition is your silent storyteller. It's what really clues you into maybe what you're feeling or the world around you or what inspired you at the time. And again, I think really hard about these things. So maybe it's a little too much, but to me, it makes a lot of sense to, use these elements in your card designs, because they're your little pieces of art as you share them with recipients. So, and scrapbooking, if you like to also take these techniques into that area as well, it definitely works. Oh, let me just remove that so you can see what happened. So that was Regal Flourish's block stamp set. I've stamped the image twice to get a nice symmetrical pattern. Love the movement within this. You'll notice like all of these interesting and organic shapes that happen throughout the arrangement, and we'll help break it up just a little bit with other elements to incorporate in this card.
I cannot believe that was 2 colors. That you used so can you show that green again? That green is beautiful.
Let me just pull that up. It's a little bit closer. So yeah, it was mossy granite.
Oh, wow.
And the cardstock color is reindeer moss. And then, of course, obsidian pigment ink. There we go.
Oh my gosh, it's amazing. And I love, again, it's a playtime, right? When you do card making, it's such an amazing way to just kind of let your brain go and just play and flow and just do all the things. So amazing.
And then one of the things that is not in the kit, but I did use in class, is a November item, which is the Sweet Spray bundle. So it's the stamp set, coordinating die set, the layering stencil set, and its matching 3D embossing folder. There are mini delights, other Craft Your Life project kits, build a garden. There are other motifs that will definitely fit within this sort of theme. So, even if you don't have the Sweet Spray bundle, you can substitute it for other things. And I mentioned this as you create in that class. So I will start with a panel of white cardstock, just 80 pound. I use Nina Solar White, it's what I have. Let me move these off to the side. And I'll set my background off to the side as well. Here's my little tray. Put it on my petal palette. I just feel like this is my little moment of luxury when I put it on these palettes to keep things organized. And I will grab my stamp wheel again. Center this cardstock panel. I know this is not going to be so exact, but I want 2 images of the Sweet Spray stamp set. And I'll color these. So the position on here is not as important because I'll die cut them eventually. Remove the stamps from my flip plate.
I love that you are also a cleanup as you go. Thank you.
Yeah.
I need to know, for all of you out there, who else is like Jaycee and I, that we are a cleanup as we go. Okay. Or are you a craft-a-mather? Like that's like you just craft and then you figure it out later on.
It just makes more sense to me. Well, I know a lot of us, maybe we don't have a lot of space. For me, I don't have a lot of space because this is a workstation. It's not just a crafting station for me. So, I've got my computer here and all of the really hot lights all around me. So I've got to keep it organized personally. And it's just how I work, of course. Even at the hospital, you don't want to switch up samples you don't mean.
I was going to say, you're a medical technologist. It's like you got to know where everything is.
Yeah.
You get into a lot of trouble with that, if that changes.
Using a lot of stamp wheel techniques here just to get everything stamped really quickly.
Jaycee, we did not talk about cats, as I'm noticing that my cat's tail is now in front of my face.
We haven't yet.
You are also proud. You are not an owner of cats, as we all know, because cats own you. But
yes.
You are a proud feeder of cats, and that they allow you to live in their space, right?
That's right. And I feel like the last time we spoke, I only had Kit Kat, but now I have 3 more. So I have Kit Kat, Cookie, Crema, and Crunch. And, they just, I just pay the mortgage for them. And every once in a while, I intrude on their space. But in return, maybe they give me like a little high five and maybe a little cuddles. But it's a very happy life, of course, with 4 cats. It's a very smelly life as well. But I mean, this house would be, I couldn't imagine, this house without them. So, but yeah, it's so fun. Always so fun with the cats.
Oh,
and what do you have? What are your cats?
I now have 3, and Debbie just asked about the ClassPass kit bundle. So with the discount, Debbie, it comes to $109, and you get the ClassPass, which is all the videos. How many videos do you have, Jaycee, for this one?
For this one, I have 4 videos, but you'll have 8 cards because I have 2 cards in each one, and then the live session.
And there's so you're really getting 5 because the live sessions are recorded. So that's like another one.
Yeah.
And again, you have those for as long. I asked Jen Raza that one time. I'm like, how long do you have them? And she's like, for as long as Altenew Academy exists. And I said, great. So, which we hope is forever. So that's so awesome. And it's if it was me, I'd go for the bundle because it's $109 and you're getting that $20 off today with our code Floral too. So definitely do that. And for cats, my other name, my real name is actually, I should have put it on here, Lady Who Feeds Me. That's who I am. That's really my name. And I have 3 now. So I have 2 gray and I have 1 orange one. Why did I get the orange one? I don't know. I think I just felt like collecting. And you will appreciate this, fellow scientist and biologist. So it's a female orange. And that was why I totally had to get a female orange. I just saw her on there. I don't know. I was on Pet Finder and I'm like, there's a female orange cat. I must have this. So for those of you who don't know, typically orange cats are male. Female cats, they're typically orange cats are not female. They're a little bit of a genetic anomaly. It's a little bit more rare. So hence I had to collect the weird genetics. And she is weird. So
I was about to say, what is it? Because, I have I have a half orange boy. So he's white, like through his little mane. And then he's orange all along the back. And typical, I never want to say bad because they don't know, right? But like very, he's got an attitude, but he's such a cuddle bug. Are female orange cats the same way? They carry that same sort of temperament?
No, she is weird. Okay. And Vicky just asked, have you been lobbying Altenew to have a color, to name a color after one of your cats? I love that idea. Because that would be cute. You did like, it's all kind of like, tasty delights. That would be like a second version of delectable delights.
Well, that's true because there's 4. I didn't even think about that.
You have the names there. So you just got to come up with what what they are. And the gray cats are two boys. The gray cats, I've never had them before, but I have to say they are just they're the amazing. Like after we got through the kittenhood and now we got into like, now I'm a juvenile old man kind of thing because they're 5. They're like so chill and nice and they like hang out and they love bum scratches. It's the best. And then I got this orange one and she is just weird, possessive. She like attacks everybody and she's just playing. Like she just doesn't do it. But because the guys are like, get off of me. Then so it ends up being a little crazy in the household. So I keep looking at that going, what was I thinking? But maybe I have to get 4. That's what I think I did wrong. Maybe I should have went with one more and get the 4th. Just complete the set. I don't know.
I think the more the better. There is a point where it becomes like a problem, of course. We're just going to say that's probably 10.
Yeah.
Then, unless you're fostering, right, then you don't get the social judgment.
Yeah.
But, I mean, of course, I always advocate for more cats. I always joke with my husband. I'm like, could we have one more? Could we be a house of 7 plus 5 cats? Or I guess really 5 cats plus 2 humans. And every once in a while, like then they all start running around and I'm like, okay, 4, that's probably enough. But if one shows up at my house, it's cold and I feel bad and they just need something, you can come inside, I guess, like, and
you got enough food, right? Like it's not like if you add another one, this is what my thought. And I love that, Tracy, for that quote. Bum scratches are the best. No, this is Astro. He literally comes by, you sit down and he literally puts his bum by you and just waits. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Laura said she had 8. Oh, and she's a Velcro cat. Oh, that's cute.
8. Oh my goodness.
You have to have a little robot. Laura, do you have the little robot? I need to know this because we just got one and it is amazing. Do you have one, Jaycee? Do you have?
I do. I have to have 2.
Yeah, that's right. You do. Yeah.
Yeah, because I have 2, and then I have the the manual method as well. But I mean, it definitely works. It makes a difference than not having them. I guess I'll say that because it's like so much more cleaning. But is the maintenance there? Yes. Is the do they fight each other in there? Yes. And so it's I don't know. I feel like you trade one problem for another, but I'd rather them be comfortable, of course, than and my house smell just a little bit better, I guess.
Yeah, I know, and it is, and I love the crafting too. Like, are they excuse me? Do they hang out next to you? I put the cat bed right on my desk, so I have a cat bed there.
They usually don't. Sometimes they'll whine outside the door, and I'm like, "Oh my gosh, come in then!" And then they're like, "Oh no, I actually don't need you then. Never mind." And then they do that sassy walk away, and I spent all that energy to lose focus on what I was doing to really help them out. So it's fine. I kind of just deal. They command attention. So that's what I'm here for.
Oh my gosh. And this is, I didn't realize you were using a dark green. I thought it was black. It's so dark. And Debbie actually has a really good question. I'm going to bring this up, Debbie. Thank you. So with the kit, what comes in the kit? Because I know you showed us the stamp that went with the Stamp Wheel 2.0 class, which is coming up. And this one you said is part of November. What are the stamps that are coming in the kit? Or do you want to show us later? It's up to you.
Which for Stamp Wheel 2.0 or for the Elements of Floral composition?
For the Elements of Floral composition.
Oh, yeah. I thought I showed the gladiolus. So Craft a Flower gladiolus die set is part of the kit. And then, there we go. I just wanted to finish that one. Stencil art, White Cat Peonies is in the kit. So this one. One of my favorite stencil arts. And I think the add-on kit has the die set to this one. Might have to look at the website. I tried to pull it up. My internet is really slow on my laptop next to me, so I can really get that before the live. But I'm pretty sure it has the add-on die set for White Cat Peonies. And then there is the fine liner pens, which if you took my first Elements of Floral Composition, different looking version, but same deal. If you don't have these, then the add-on kit is great to get the fine liner pens. And then an unreleased item is part of the kit. I'm pretty sure. Where I put it is a question mark.
Yes,
And
it is. It's in the picture. I can totally see it. That's the Lenten one, the Lenten roses, which are like my favorite.
yeah, here it is. Lenten Grace.
Oh gosh, gorgeous. Cup and Ink just said that she just got it today. She just got the kit today. We
Perfect.
need to know, Cup and Ink, did you like just like start opening that up and playing with it? We need to know. That's cool. I have to say, like, when I get new stuff, I don't open it up. It drives my friends crazy because they're like, why aren't you just ripping into that? And I'm like, no. So I let it sit and like marinate for a week or two or maybe 3. And then I finally like open it up. Oh, no, she just said wrong kit. I was going to say, I don't know if we shipped it yet. And Carrie was just saying the White Cap Peony set. That stencil, oh my gosh. I love trying it with just like crazy, because peonies are so hybridized anyway that they come in all kinds of crazy colors, which is so neat to see them. So I like to do that with that White Cap Peony stencil set because you can just, whatever you dream it, you can ink it. I think
that's right. And especially with that set, I use it quite a bit in the class. It's, yeah, you just kind of have to think about your values, think about the color palette that you mentioned, trying to incorporate different cultivars. And I also draw that inspiration into the class as well, like what truly inspired this movement. And that's really the thing I wanted to emphasize in Elements of Floral Composition too, was building your own garden, thinking about these artful elements. So yeah, I think I covered everything in the kit. So there was that main bundle, the regular class kit, and then there is that add-on bundle, which had the die set and the fine liner pens. So hopefully that was everything.
Yes. Yeah, no, that helped. And there was another question about like, because, I'd love to know too, let us know in the chat, are you new to like, have you ever taken a class from Altenew before? Because I feel like we do things a little differently here, which I think is good. And I feel like we do a really nice, I love our classes, of course. And what's nice about them is you can really mix and match like what you want and what makes sense to you. So if you're like, hey, I just want the classes, you can have those. And if you want the kit, like Jaycee had said, it comes with this stencil, it comes with Craft Your Life, which is amazing. I love those. And it also comes with the stamp set. And then you're like, hey, I also want the die, because there's a die that comes with that stencil, with the White Cap Peony stencil. And then you get the fine liner pens, which I mean are amazing. Those pens are awesome. So, and then that extra add-on kit is $36.08. So, and if we're doing really well, by the way, we've only been hanging out for 45 minutes. I feel like it's been 5 because it's been a lot of fun. I love this. And so it's so nice to kind of hang out. And so we still have time because Jaycee, he told me, he came on and he's like, hey, Amy, let's go to midnight. You got this? And I'm like, well, I don't know. But I did say maybe an hour and a half. How does that sound? And he was like, okay, I'll try my best. But so that add-on comes with the fine liner pens and the stencil. And I got a couple of questions that came up. I'm sure when the customer, if they didn't, absolutely. So Tracy just asked a good question. Like, do you feel like you have to take that first floral, like Elements of Floral Composition class, or do you feel like this is like a standalone? That's pretty good.
I tried to make this as much of a standalone as it could be as well. Like I know it's a sequel, and we are calling it as, Elements of Floral Composition 2, but I mention things and I go pretty in your time. I really try to be cognizant of your time as well, right? Because each lesson is about 15 to 25 minutes, and I cram 2 cards in there, 2 really thought out, detailed cards. So I skim over things like line and skim over things like color and value, but I show you how I incorporate them because I hope that you have just a little bit of a knowledge of what they are. But as long as you know what they are, and you feel confident in moving into elements of floral composition too, by all means. But and it's not sequential either, right? If you take two and you're like, I feel a little lost, maybe I need elements of floral composition, the first one, to really take a deep dive into line, color, value, shape, space, form, and texture. Like what does he mean, right? And then you can take just the class kit if you want for elements of floral composition, the first one, and see the really deep dive into that. So like I kind of thought about it as like an outline, right? You like your Roman numeral I and then A, and then you've got your outlines sort of when you're taking notes. Like elements of floral composition is really that Roman numerals too. Sorry. This class. So the sequel, Build Your Own Garden, is all your Roman numerals. So it's just like these headers of Art Nouveau, Impressionism. See, I don't want to give away too much. And other art movements or other things that could possibly inspire you, right? And then when you go underneath that, then there's A, form, B, texture, C, line. And I didn't use all of them, right? They all show up in different ways, but they craft a flower, for example, craft a flower gladiolus. The first thing that comes to mind is texture and form, right? Because it's these things that literally stand out from your card. So, as you're digging through your stash, maybe you didn't get the kit, but you have other craft a flowers or you have layering floral die sets. You know that these are great places to start for texture and for form. And how can you build on that? How else can you really make these not just layered images, right? And not just to recreate a gladiolus stem, but how else can you make it feel more inspired? How else can you use scenes that you've taken in your garden? I'm sure you've taken a picture or two of flowers and keep them on your phone. How do you translate that into your cards? And yeah, again, I really overthought this class, and I hope that you can follow along with me. If the class itself goes too fast, we also have the PDF, the lesson PDF that goes step by step as far as what I did, because I do kind of, jump back and forth. Here's the inspiration. Here are the steps. Here's the inspiration. Here are the steps. At least with the PDF, it goes in order. So if you're literally trying to recreate the card, that class, the lesson plan or whatever we call it, the lesson PDFs are there for you as well. That was a really long-winded answer to what you asked me. But
I have to say it was wonderful. And as you were going along, I was checking the chat and people were like, oh, thank you for explaining all of this. Because again, we have some new people and they haven't taken a class with us. Okay. And there was somebody, and I forget, I apologize that I'm not giving you credit out there for this good question, but they were like, oh, can I still take Elements of Floral Composition 1? Is that available? And I'm like, oh, yes, it is. And that's the great thing about Altenew Academy is all of the classes are out there, so you can check it. So like I said before, and if you're just joining us, we have the amazing Jaycee Gaspar. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited to be here today with you. And we are talking about his new class that's coming out, which is, I love the beginning part too, by the way. I'm looking down at my notes because I don't want to mess it up. Build Your Own Garden. I love that. Build Your Own Garden, Elements of Floral Composition number 2, Roman numeral 2. And this is great. And Jaycee has so many wonderful classes. We talked about some of them before, and you may have missed it, Jaycee, but you had a lot of shout outs out there about what is like an amazing instructor you are, like how, and again, like you break things down and you talk about them. And I agree with you about even like your beautiful details class and the classes that you do and the way that you kind of like work through all of these ideas is that you are able to see things in different ways. And I love that about taking your classes, because I agree with you. Sometimes I just I get a stamp set, I stamp it and I put it on a page, I put it on my card and then I put the sentiment on it. And I'm like, what else can I do with this? And that's why I love your classes, because they're just they're so amazingly inspired. And the Craft a Flower set is exclusive for the class. And I think that Mitzi, thank you, Mitzi. I'm so glad you're here, Mitzi, and you're behind the badge. And what she had said is that, nope, you can purchase that separately, which is great. that craft a flower. I love the craft of flowers. They are so awesome. And I was like, I'm always afraid of like having too many layers, but with the craft of flowers, it's so neat how you can change that up and do all of these things. And
Yeah,
we also were talking about markers. Someone had asked about the markers, so I'm going to have you talk about Altenew markers in just a minute because these are alcohol markers, which are so good. And you went through and you just kind of like outlined this image. So can you tell us kind of what you're doing there?
yeah, absolutely. We were just having a nice little chat. I was like, oh, this is a perfect opportunity to do this really monotonous task. But I'm sort of really, I'm thinking about the future state of this card. So I did take the Cottage Garden Altenew Artist Marker set, and it was the darkest color, green coral, green opal, to outline the stamp. And I had the die set off to the side because I was looking at where this die cuts so I don't leave a white margin. And that's all I'm trying to do is eliminate the white margin around the die set when I cut out this image. Oops. And I also double checked it against the die. So I think we did a good job. I stayed fairly focused to do the outline on both of these images because I want this to meld into the background. The white margin sometimes is a little stark, and I love using the Altenew Artist markers to just create a simple little outline. It works up really quick. Obviously, we had a nice little chat during that time. You can always put on a little movie or a little K-drama if you want and do these sort of tests. But yeah, that's all I did. And now I will die cut both of these images out using my die cutting machine. I'm sorry if it's loud. Hopefully it's not too loud.
No, not at all. We need to know what you have.
Uh,
And by the way, I just want to ask, is Mini Blossom your friend, your best
I
friend?
do have a mini blossom. Oh yeah, I definitely have a mini blossom. It was one of my first die cutting machines, and it's just so cute to have on the desk, and it's so aesthetic. You know, it's got that vibe to it because it's got the flower prints on it. But I do have, let me just unplug it because I'm going to leave it far away from my microphone. I have the Mini Empress. I've spray painted it black.
So
It's
cute.
my vibe. So
That's so cute. No, I have to say, and I also want to know on your die cutting machines and maybe on your Mini Blossom, do you have pieces of purple tape all over it left
oh yeah,
over?
definitely. Like where's the Mini Blossom? Oh, it's underneath all of the tape. So
It's all under all of the tape. Oh my gosh. Oh, and I have to say, My Crafty Adventures, you have a lot of amazing questions. She just asked what a CAF is, because people obviously, we have all those amazing subscriptions, and one of them is Craft a Flower, which is CAF. And those are awesome. And with the keyhole system now that we have, they're so easy to put together, and it's something that is so easy to do that you could look at it and be like, oh my God, how the heck do you do it? It looks so complicated. But absolutely, it is really easy to do and gives amazing texture. And that's also in this class, not exclusive to the class, but that's going to be one of the products that you're going to be using in this class of Build Your Own Garden Elements of Floral Composition.
there we go.
That was very fast. That was awesome.
Ooh, there we go. I did miss a few areas with the artist marker, but we can just work through that really quickly. And again, that was the die set for Sweet Spray die stamp set and its coordinating die set. Just to get some nice little dimension and form on this card. So I'll just fill in these areas that I missed here.
That's good. And
Really
we have a nice question from Vicky, which is, do you have a favorite technique?
Oh yeah, I got asked this during one of the lives on my channel, and I love ink blending. We talked about Craft a Flower. Craft a Flower is one of my favorite Altenew subscriptions. Anytime we get the opportunity as designers to preview this collection, Craft a Flower is always one of the ones I get almost every single time. I mean, of course, I want to get all of them, but I don't have the time to create with all of them, sadly. But Craft a Flower is definitely one I try to make sure that I can incorporate into my designer pieces. So, and the assignments that I do. Here we go. And we talked about that keyhole alignment system. I think we have a little bit of time to just quickly show that on the die set. And that's all these images are right here. So there's the keyhole. the triangle, and they're different shapes. It just depends on the image that you're trying to assemble. Keyhole, the little snowman is what that's called. The triangle, and then there's the wee T, which I learned is that shape there. And then there's the layering guide on the back, which tells you, sorry, it's going to be a little out of focus, but it's going to tell you how to assemble these images. So there's no guesswork. There's no like where you don't have to follow reference points aside from the opening of the keyhole, the wee T, the triangle, and the little snowman, the bigger snowman. And so you can't like match these layers with this one because they don't fit as you look through them. So it's just a really easy way of aligning your images, your die cut pieces. So good question if you're not familiar with the Craft a Flower. I love the Craft a Flower series because you can make really realistic flowers.
Oh yeah, it was Carrie was saying she's always looking forward to your Craft a Flower designs because they're so realistic. Yes, yes, they are.
Thank you.
So awesome. All right, so I'm curious where this is heading. So where are we headed? Because you got that gorgeous background that you did with the green paper, and I forgot the name already, and then you stamped it with that gorgeous stamp, and the outline is awesome. And that's such a nice idea to allow it to blend into the background. Because otherwise you have to fussy cut it out. But this is nice too, because then you also did all those other parts in it, which is nice.
Yeah. Just to, like we mentioned, to meld that background or these foreground elements into the background. So then all I have to do is take the layering stencil set, and I die cut this ahead just so that I have more reference points for this stencil to stick on top of my sticky mat grid. And if you've tuned into my perfect pairing series, or if you've tuned into my personal videos on my YouTube channel or my live sessions that I feature, different products, I always have my sticky mat grid out. So indispensable tool, I use it all the time. Definitely need it. And let me just see what colors I planned real quick. So I did amethyst for this one. And let me just grab that. Where did it go? Oh, it's in the purples. Amethyst is right there. Oh my, right here. And I'll use my mini ink blending tools just to quickly fill in these petal layers. Hopefully that was enough time for my obsidian pigment ink to dry so it doesn't move as I'm ink blending. And I'll do a solid wash of these. Again, I'm thinking of really nice, not nice. I'm really thinking of organic colors, realistic looking flowers. Amethyst, of course, is going to be one of those, sort of like a jewel tone palette that lends itself to the Art Nouveau sort of feeling of this card and inspiration.
Oh, it's beautiful. And we had a question because this is a layering stencil, actually, right?
That's right.
And I don't know, My Crafty Adventures, if you can see it, but when Jaycee lifted that up, you might have seen some lines that are designating or denoting that there are 3 separate sections on one stencil, which is awesome instead of having to find them all. And then you just kind of line it up, and there's always layering guides, and you can even see the etching inside there, so that way you can see where it goes.
That's right. Yeah, and that's all I'm using to look through the image to get this aligned. So of course, that's this etching that Amy was talking about. I'm using stencil number 1, and you can see that etching on here to go in order. This next layer, or these next openings, fill in the base petal of the layers. And so that's what I'll keep doing, is filling in these layers with amethyst and my mini ink blending tool. And because this image is, not symmetrical, it's really easy to just quickly line up these images. And since I filled in that outline with a dark background with the Altenew artist marker, it just works up really quickly to fill in these petal layers, because you don't even see all the mistakes that happen. So
we cannot. You made no mistakes here for us. Nothing. No mistakes. And I love even though that's the same color, and and you're using that mini blending brush, which I love those, and it even looks a little bit different. I love having variation. And we had a question come up about staying within a color family when you're blending, or do you kind of like go where the wind takes you?
Oh, see, and that depends. If I'm trying to create realistic looking craft of flower, I'm thinking a lot about craft of flower, but if I'm using the craft of flower to create realistic looking blooms, then I'm definitely picking at my ink colors next to me and seeing like, oh, there's a little bit of yellow here, and I'm painting just like you would in watercolor with the inks. So it depends. For ease, sometimes I stick within a color family. Just as I'm teaching, I think it's easier to just be like move down the line of values of color. But if I'm creating for myself, then the Altenew inks are at my disposal, so I can just get whatever. But that's a good question. Yeah, I mean, it just really depends on what I feel like doing.
Yeah, I'm the same. What's nice too is on the Altenew website, there's this whole freebies section that actually lists out the color families, but then there's like an inspiration guide that if you want to kind of break free, but you're not sure exactly how to break free out of the color families, it gives you an option. It's like, oh, hey, try these together. And that's nice because it gives you license to mix it up a little bit. But what I really love about Altenew is when I wasn't comfortable with that yet, it allowed me to stay within the color family, and I know that my project was going to come out really well.
Yeah, I know we talked about like what our first items that we bought from Altenew were, and that was sort of the reason why I was really drawn to Altenew's product line. I bought Peony Bouquet. That was my first Altenew product, and yeah, it just made sense. You grab your outline ink, black most times, and then you just move down the line of values of color. So you get a light pink, a mid red, a deeper red, and then like the deepest red that you could possibly own, to layer these images, and you end up with this really stunning arrangement, right? And it was just, to me, as like a new card maker, it just made sense. So that's what I'm hoping to, like, as you experiment with things like Craft a Flower and those sorts of images, that you see how easy it is, even though it looks like a lot of pictures and a lot of pieces to die cut. Like, the reward is really an assembly, and Altenew's layering dies are the what's on the back. Oh my goodness,
the layering guide. Yeah, the layering guide. Yeah. Oh, and Joy had asked for your class, and this is the Build Your Own Garden Elements of Floral Composition 2. Do we need to have a stamp wheel?
Any stamp positioning tool will work. I'm trying to think. I have the cards over to the side over here. I will not show them. I do not think you'll need a stamp wheel. No, just any stamp positioning tool will work, of course. The stamp wheel doesn't leave me. It's always easily accessible, and it doesn't matter which one. It's the stamp wheel 2.0 or the original stamp wheel. There is an image that I use in class that's sort of big, so I don't know if it fits in the original stamp wheel. However, you make it work. Like, that's the point of this class is, you kind of just have to look at these sources of inspiration, and I'm sure you'll find a really suitable alternative, and maybe you'll feel inspired after taking the class to be like, oh, actually, I see my products that I currently have in a different light now, because they have a different inspirational feeling to them. So I hope that makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's what I love about your classes, especially because you focus on techniques. So it doesn't matter if I have or don't have the product, right? I can take a look at anything I already own because I bought it, right? It's like I bought it and I loved it at one time. Maybe I haven't touched it in a while, but I know I loved it. And so it's always nice to like get that back out again and like remember and fall back in love, right? Like you mentioned about the peonies and that stamp set. I have stamped that so many different ways, so many different, like I have done so many things with it because I love it. I haven't touched it probably in a year or two, but I'm like, oh, I need to like bring that back out again because I really do love that first peony, that first peony stamp set. And we had a great question about the difference between the two stamp wheels. And I have to say, I don't know what I did before the stamp wheel because I think I have like the way my life works is like I don't know, like before stamp wheel and after stamp wheel, and that's the way like I have my life set up because I don't know what I did. When I started stamping, I tried with a block and I was like, this isn't happening and not going to happen. I'm terrible. And the stamp wheel just makes my life so much easier. It makes my life so much easier.
Yep, I agree with you. I had various stamp positioning tools of some sort, but the stamp wheel lets you. I think. Speaking of Altenew Academy, I also have a stamp wheel course. I think the original stamp
Yes,
wheel
you
course
do.
on there.
Yes, you do.
I just remembered that. So there is a course by me from there, and it was 10 ways that you could use the stamp wheel. So it's not just a precision stamping tool where you can sort of do this hinge motion, but it's just a different. It is completely different. There are many things that you can do with the stamp wheel. Stamping is just one of them. So yeah, and it never leaves my desk because I can do all those things, get positions just right. It works with my little very overthinking brain to create with the stamp wheel. But if you feel so inclined, I have the stamp wheel course on there to learn a little bit more. Simon Hurley, I think, also has his course on Altenew Academy. Really great guy to teach, of course. But yeah, um, I encourage it. I love the stamp wheel. I don't know why you wouldn't. If you have it, then you know. To me,
Oh,
if you have it, then you know
yeah.
why we all rave about it so
Oh
much.
my gosh. And the mat, like the mat that you have here, that came about from the stamp wheel mat. And I love how you're going through this so quickly, right? And you're not repositioning with tape. You are picking that up, and then I'm going to ask, can you show that your ink is stuck on there? Do you guys see how Jaycee is with the ink pad? He's using it one-handed. I just want to point that out. So,
That's right. It's
and
like
that's
a
what I
really
love
visual.
about the stamping mat is that
Yeah,
everything sticks on there. And I'm just because you're going fast, right? Because your brain's working so quickly and you can just move through. So you're operating your ink with one hand. And
yeah,
that's what I love about those fresh dye inks as well. So often. So amazing.
yeah. And it works. I during the stamp wheel class, I did mention that it's good for those of you who have mobility issues, because you can do things one-handed. And same with the stamp wheel. I try to make it a lot more accessible for crafters as well. So yeah, that's a great point. Honestly, at this point, it's just so second nature to just slam the ink pad on the craft mat, twist open the lid, grab a mini ink blending tool, and then just kind of go for it. So
And I
and
love it because it makes it fun sometimes. Now, you and I also love to just perseverate over like all of it and make sure everything's lined up so well. But when your brain is like going, it's so wonderful because everything just kind of, clicks and it works. It's awesome. And it's just
yeah.
been great.
And yeah, like you mentioned, there's no tape. I'm just simply sticking the stencil to the sticky matte grid because this is the same material that your photopolymer stamps are made out of. So if like it just sticks to the acetate that's in your stamp wheel. Sorry, not your stamp, in your stamp packaging. So yeah, that's why it works so well. And I think with the stamp wheel, this one definitely never leaves my surface. I have obviously, like when you get the stamp sticky matte grid, it's not this color.
Yeah.
So um, that this is all from over inking and whatever, but I mean, it works just as fine, even though it's kind of discolored. It is what it is. Um, that's just the nature of your photopolymer stamps. It happens, but it doesn't affect the quality of how they work. Um, so I just don't want that to steer that. I don't want you to be discouraged by that because that's just what happens with the mat. And I clean it with soap and water, nothing harsh, no solvents to ruin the surface of this. So it's lasted as long as I've had it, and I use it, as a designer, I use it almost daily and for many different companies as well. So I leave it out here. I need it for what I do. There was one last step to this. What was it? Oh, fill in these little centers here just real quickly, just so that there's no white part showing on the center. So I'm just using one of the artist markers to fill that in with a little bit of color, using the brush nib and the bullet nibs to mimic, right, the existing style that's on the layering stamp. So I'm doing like a few little stipples and a little dots to really match that up real nice. And I think I missed a piece right there with the dark color. Oh, here. Is that all of it? Oh, here. There we go. So then there's this element. So this is our main floral element. Actually, before I put this away, quickly layer up my images here. So this is part of the Stencil Art White Cap Peonies add-on die set. This is the sentiment that's in there. Where is it? It's right here, Jaycee. Come on. This one.
Oh, isn't that? I love it. I love I love this. I love that when it comes with the die cut sentiment. I feel like it's a complete thing. You know.
And this is what we were talking about with the layering image. I love the way this layered up. If we could have another one of these Altenew, like with some other flower, like I'll get it all the time. And I'll showcase it all the time. You know, like I love this. Oh yeah, and that was the sentiment in there. Sorry, that was the point. And all I'll do is layer this up. Let's see, and what we're at 1 hour and 12 minutes. We should be good to finish this within the time frame. So, but it might be lightning round towards the end.
We're doing great. And like I said, I don't, is everybody okay if we go on for another few hours? Let us know. Comments. We don't need to, you know, there's no sleeping. It's all right.
Yeah.
All good.
I do have to show up to work one more time this week. But otherwise, like I should be good to go, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. And I love that too with this, the fact that you are layering it up and just sticking those together. It's such a nice way to do it. I have to say, every single time I do this, I always kick myself because I'm like, why did I not use the double-sided paper? You know,
that's true.
paper.
Yeah.
I just need to like take that stuff and like start die cutting everything out of it.
I do. I really like that stuff too. It's a lot stickier than other ones I've tried. And it die cuts beautifully too. And that's the most important part, is that it die cuts really well.
And it looks beautiful with the flower print on it. It's so gorgeous.
Oh yeah, and then you never know. There's no guessing. You know,
yeah.
you know it's exactly which side.
Yeah.
So there's that. So the shadow layer. Oh, this cardstock color I think is the same as the background. Is it? Oh, let me. Is that? Now look at my eyes are deceiving me. I think it's a different color.
It looks like it is, but we're going to say that that's intentional because you're just making it a little brighter. I think that looks great.
I did write down 3 different colors for some reason. So there's reindeer moss, which I know is the cardstock. Oh, this is fresh leaf. There we go. This is fresh leaf.
Yeah, it's nice.
So everything sort of melts together with that darker background for the flowers on here. And then the last piece to this. So we'll sort of dissect how this is going, right? We've got our symmetrical background. Gives that sort of flow and that line. We like the lines that are happening in here. Linear composition is something that, in my first elements of floral composition, I mentioned a lot of linear composition. So it's just the way I think. And it's just, once you see it, then it's hard to, then you'll see it in different forms in other art, right, in composition. But anyway, what I did was I cut these circles from the Nesting Circles die set, this one right here. And what I made were little frames. And what I'm going to do with these, well, so I cut 2 layers. I couldn't decide on the color, so I think it was this one. I'm just going to stack them so I can use them. And I have 2 sizes here for these circles. Maybe I can give you an estimate of how big these are. So this is 3.5 inches in diameter. The other one I cut was 2 3/4. And then this one is, and I kind of just grabbed them, honestly. So I was just like, this size and this size, it's going to be good. And then this is the offcut, I think, for the center. Yep. And then what is that inner diameter? So the other die cut was 2 inches.
Yeah.
And I'm layering these up, and I'm going to do this in sort of an unconventional way. If you take a look at Art Nouveau, especially the illustrations featuring like these long-haired women with the sort of muka, right, those flowy motifs in their hair, they seem to be adorned in some sort of arch, right? But I don't have an arch die set, but I wanted to incorporate some sort of geometrical slash stained glass feeling. So I'm going to layer these up in this sort of odd ring crescent arrangement to give that frame and shaped centerpiece just like this. And I just want to make sure that's kind of centered a little bit. So instead of just like a really traditional circular wreath, I'm going to get this arrangement on here. Then to go along with the shape and break up the symmetry of this card, I'll sort of tuck this and hide it so that there's different areas of height on this card. So I'm going to take this whole thing and foam mount it. Ooh, what is the best way to do this? This worked in my head. And then now we're going to do it. So I think if oh, you know what? I'll glue this down first. And center it. And I like to use the guides on my Altenew cutting mat. So these ones here, the horizon lines to make sure that this is centered. And then I'll foam mount this one up here with some Altenew Instant Dimension foam tape. I go back and forth between the 1/16 inch thick and the 1/8 inch thick Instant Dimension foam tapes. It just sort of depends on what I feel like doing that day, I guess. So this will go up here. And then, like I said, this one will tuck in underneath. So one of the things, if you follow my channel, look on my Instagram, I love to incorporate different shapes, whether that's geometric or organic. And in this way, with Art Nouveau, it's sort of a little bit of both, right? So I have these organic shapes, leaves, flowers, faces, right, or are organic shapes. And then to turn them into geometric shapes. So aside from the circles that are happening here, then I have this sort of triangular element. So I'll try to highlight that there. So I've arranged this deliberately to break up not only the symmetry, but also to keep things moving in this sort of isosceles triangle sort of formation. And then I have a nice place to put my sentiment up here. And I'll use the thicker foam tape this time. To let that rise up against the floral arrangement. And that feels good there, right? Composition rules. I'm sure you all have heard of the rule of thirds. I follow that sort of rough guideline. But in class, I also show this template that I made. This is the golden ratio. So mathematically, I won't go too much into detail, but there's this area mathematically, right, that's supposed to be the most visually appealing. So I'm kind of close. You know, it's just a guideline of where to put things. And it's where all of these points intersect right here. Is considered to be like the most mathematically appealing area to put elements on your card. So that's that. And really that finishes this. I want to embellish this in some way, but I don't know how. Let's do some white splatter. So we'll take some pure white ink spray splatter. This one right here. Oh, I feel like you'll understand me with this one, Amy. I have a vortexer. So I love using it for mixing up the pure white ink spray. There we go. And then I'll just add an array of white splatter. I love to use splatter to break up these intentional shapes. So I feel like splatter helps break up shapes and movement and also hides mistakes on your card. So after mixing that up, then I'll add a lot of this white splatter to all of the elements on here. And I kind of like that it fades back a little bit more ethereal, a little bit more dreamy. So let me get this off of here for a moment. Make a nice little stage for this card to sit on. Let that dry back. And I've enjoyed seeing your comments on here as well. Thank you so much for joining me on today's live and talking about elements of floral composition, by the way. And there we go. So again, 7 elements of art and how they are incorporated onto here. I've got my symmetrical pieces to frame this piece and really take that inspiration from Art Nouveau. I've got my shapes with the floral arrangement from Sweet Spray, as well as these circular elements to give that stained glass feeling to this card. The sentiment is just what it is. What else is on here? Form and texture. So form is like literally how things come and stand out at you. So, you know, these are at different heights and they are at different levels on this card. So I feel like that's a really great way to illustrate form. The color palette, of course, I've picked something a little bit more organic and jewel tone-like, a little bit more natural. But it's got this sort of jewel tone feeling to it, right? Sort of that vintage Art Nouveau feeling. So after all of that lines with the background and the shapes, color, value is what you saw with ink blending, form, texture, shape. Yeah, you know, all of these take their form or in some way on this card. So that's really a preview of what you'll see in elements of floral composition and what we'll make. So it's a lot of thinking. It's a lot of that sort of meditative process and thought process for creating. But if you feel the need to recreate the card, the lesson plan is available for you. So yeah, that's the card I have for you today. And hopefully, Mitzi, you've got the chat. Oh, what am I trying to say? You've got the links going. I can barely see a little preview of the chat that's happening. So I really appreciate Amy capturing those for me. Yeah. If there are any other questions, please let me know. Otherwise, yeah, you can still get the bundle with the regular class pass and the class pass and the regular kit. I will never get that right. But you get $20 off with my code Floral2. You have, it started on Tuesday. You have until December 9th to do that. But yeah, oh, I see your chat. I guess as long as you can end the thing, I'll just stand here real nicely with the Floral2, or maybe I'll just have the top-down view. But I'm excited for you to join me in class. If you join class and during that live part, just let me know and follow me on Instagram. I'd love to see your projects from Elements of Floral Composition. Well, I'd love for you to share all your projects from any of the Altenew Academy courses that you take with me, but especially during Elements of Floral Composition during that time in February when this is live. I'd love to see your projects. Please tag me. And it'll just be so much fun. I look forward to seeing you all there. And Yeah, thank you for joining, Laura. I'm glad you'll be in class. I know a few of you have mentioned that you'll be in class during that session. So, um, all right. We ended with 4 minutes to spare. I'm sorry that we couldn't go until 1 a.m. I didn't eat dinner yet. My cats, no, actually, my cats really need me because they own this house. So, yeah. Hi, Ziamara. Oh, good to see you. I wish I could have seen the chat more, but all right. Yeah, thanks everyone. I will just put it on my little end screen here and I'll see you very soon. Bye.